Hey everybody, in this tutorial we're going to talk about saving your Daz content in Character Creator 3 in various formats, from clothing to accessories, even to a morph slider. We're going to create a custom morph slider. So let's get right into it by first creating our character in Daz, going over to Smart Content. I'm going to use a bit of a different figure this time. We're going to find a page, also a Genesis G8 character. Alright, there you go. So let's go ahead and give her some clothes right off the bat here. Go to wardrobe and we should have a page outfit right here. Make sure we apply that to our character there. And we'll throw in some hair as well. We have these special braids for Paige. And we'll throw on some glasses as well. So in accessories, we should have some glasses. I'm going to throw in these Minto glasses C. Okay, now these need to be adjusted a little bit. So we'll just zoom in on the character a little bit here so we get those glasses in position. Make sure that we have them selected there. If we can just, there we go. Select those, make sure that we have scale selected here. And let's just scale them up on the red axis there and the blue axis, just like this. Alright, we'll just go ahead and stick with that. I'm not going to be too picky about the placement and everything. It's looking okay for me. Alright, so the next item of business here is we want to apply a T-pose to our character. Now this T-pose comes in a special file folder here. So under your Reallusion content, or under the template folder rather, some of you may have this in like C documents, but there's a template folder for all of your Reallusion content, and you go into Character Creator 3 template. There is also a Daz resource folder in there and a T-pose folder, and then you'll find a number of different Genesis T-poses. You need to apply it to your character before you bring it into Character Creator. Okay, so let's go ahead and apply the Genesis female T-pose G8 right here. And go ahead and just apply it to our character. And there we go. Okay, everything's looking fine and dandy. And from there on, we just need to go ahead and export it. Okay, so we'll go up here to File and Export. And I've already exported it to my desktop as an FBX file. So we can just go ahead and save it as that. Don't need to overwrite it, doesn't really matter. But I just wanted to make sure that you have all these settings, FBX 2011 binary, and a couple of these settings here. Let's go ahead and cancel it for now. Now, one thing to make note of here is you need to ensure that your Daz character has a complete mesh. Now, when this becomes an issue is when you add certain items of clothing to your character, in this case, the shoes. If we go and make the shoes invisible, the sneakers invisible there, you can see that the feet mesh have automatically been hidden. And the problem that results here is that when you export this into FBX format and into Character Creator, Character Creator will not recognize it as a standard Daz mesh if some of the mesh is removed. Okay, so you need to ensure that you restore the mesh. You don't want to have any hidden mesh on the character's body. And I'm going to provide a link in the description to this video, a forum link. And there's a couple of 3 different workarounds for how to restore the mesh on your character, depending on the scenario and the type of character. There's 3 separate workarounds that you can try, and those should fix the problem for you. Here we are in Character Creator. So let's go ahead, and first item of business is to use the Transformer tool to import that Daz character into Character Creator. Okay, and let's find it on the desktop there, just like this. And it'll just take a second to import. And when it does import, you'll find a number of all the different items that we added to our character here. So we need to make sure that the braids, the hair is classified as a hair type, okay? And the dungarees are a cloth, the shirt is a cloth. The sneakers need to be classified as shoes. And you can see the glasses are already classified as an accessory. But notice here that it says the mesh is bound to the wrong bone. And we'll talk about that in just a moment here. Okay, so I'm going to press OK and make sure all that stuff imports in correctly. Alright, so you can see the glasses imported in okay. They look a little bit weird though. We need to do some fine material adjustments here. Let's go over here to our Materials tab and make sure that we select the lenses of the glasses there. And let's go down here and just to our material settings. Let's change that opacity down to like 15 or even maybe 10 or something like that. Take our shadow threshold up, all right, just to like 50 or something would be good. Doesn't really matter. And our diffuse color, we're going to change that from white to a very dark black color there. Okay, so you can see there we have the very barely noticeable glasses on the lenses there rather. Okay, and I think that's good for the lenses. Now what we need to do as well is we need to go over here to attributes and make sure that we're attached to the right bone. Okay. So you saw that notification earlier. Currently it's attached to the hip. And for most people, their glasses aren't really attached to the hip. You don't put your glasses on your hip. So you need to go over here to this ellipses here and just make sure that you find the character's head. All right. Normally spine, neck twist, and then head is this one right here, CC base head, and go ahead and press OK. Okay, so that means the glasses will now be attached to the head, which is exactly the way we want it. And the next thing I want to do is make sure that my layers are all set properly. Okay, so we imported it in like this, but Character Creator doesn't really know which item is on which layer yet. So let's make sure that we confirm that. Let's go over here to Edit, or Modify rather, and go to Cloth Layer Settings. And you can see here we have all the different cloth items. You can see the dungarees are currently at the bottom layer. So we need to have the dungarees on top of the shirt layer. So what we can do is we can just click and drag the dungarees on top of the shirt there, right there, and then go ahead and run collision. And when we do so, we should have our character with the dungarees on top of the shirt in the ideal position there. There we go. All right, I think we're good to go. So from this point on, we're basically all set. Now, alternately, you can go ahead and transfer skin weights. If you find there's any pose issues on your character, you can transfer the skin weights at this point. But if you're applying it to a different character in the future, it's not going to be kind of redundant, because you're going to have to transfer the skin weights of that cloth item to the other character in the future anyways. So we're not going to worry too much about that. But if you want, at this point, you can transfer skin weights. We can go ahead and select a pose over here if we want. Let's just go to our template folder here. Let's use a Motion Plus, or rather a Motion Plus one right here, and choose a female. Let's just try something like this look up, okay? Just like this. You can notice that the glasses are now attached to the head. If we looked up and the glasses weren't attached to the head, then they'd probably be somewhere, where the mouth is currently right now. And if you find like a mesh breakage issue like this, again, like different poses may, present different issues with your mesh. A really easy way to fix it normally is to go to Conform and just make sure that your shirt is selected here. We can go to our scene manager, make sure that the shirt there is selected. And I like to go to Conform and kind of just increase the size. This is the first troubleshooting step that I normally take. And you can see that generally fixes a lot of your problems, okay, with a very minimal noticeable result. And if you want to go into more detail, you can go to Conform here, and you can edit the mesh. Conform can also be found there, by the way. And I'll just take out this one part here on the chest a little bit by going up to Sculpt, and just this one here is Pull, so you can pull out the cloth a little bit. And again, I recommend having a fairly high radius for this, regardless of where you're pulling out the mesh. So we'll just kind of pull it out like this, and we should be good. We just kind of pulled it a little too much for the strap there, so maybe we need to decrease the radius a little bit. Just like this. There you go. Don't want to pull out onto that strap there. Okay, I think we're good to go from that point. And our dungarees now can be edited there as well. Let's just select the dungarees one more time there. And we can increase the size on that. Go to Conform. Increase the size slightly. That should fix the dungaree issue. There we go. All right, it's kind of the quick and easy way to do it, the quick and dirty way to do it. All right, but let's go ahead now that we've basically have everything all set up, we can go ahead and start saving the items on our character now. So in order to save the items on your character, you can save them and reapply them to any character creator character after this. Make sure you select the items separately. So we're going to start with the shirt here, okay? So I'm going to select the shirt, make sure it's selected in the scene manager as well, and go to Content, and we'll go over here to Cloth, and make sure you go to Custom, the Custom tab, and select this shirts subsection here, and then just press the plus key down here. And then just call it shirt, okay? No big deal. You can do the same thing for the dungarees here. So select the dungarees, make sure they're selected in the scene manager, and those can probably be put under full body, okay? So full body like a dress and stuff like that, or full character rather. And just go ahead and save that. We'll call them overalls. Dungarees might be an Australian thing. Anyways, and we'll do the same thing with the shoes. So we can select the shoes here. Make sure those are selected in the scene manager. You can also just double click them. Normally in the viewport here, you can double click them and they'll select that way. I like to select in the content or in the scene manager just to make sure anyways. We'll go over here to shoes, and we'll just save these as shoes. And call them cakes, whatever. Okay. And next thing we need to do is save the hair and the glasses, and then we'll talk about saving the morph. So let's select the hair and double click the hair there in the scene manager, make sure it's selected. Yep. Okay, so we'll go over here now to base, and in base we'll go to hair and custom hair folder right here. You can right click and you can create a new folder if you want, like you can put in like a Daz subfolder or something just like that, and then go into that subfolder under hair and Daz on the custom tab here, and press plus. And we'll call it hair, or yeah, we'll just call it hair. I'm not creative enough to think of another name right now. All right, and the glasses, we need to save those as accessories. So we'll select the glasses. Make sure we go over here to the accessory section, and accessories for the head. You can see I've saved a couple of them already. I'll just create another subfolder here called Daz. All right, and go into that folder there and save these glasses. Call them glasses. All right, and you can of course like zoom in on the scene as well if you want, just like this. And if we have this still selected, you can just go ahead and press plus, and you can see you get a better closer up view of the glasses there. Call these glasses 2. You can just select glasses 1 there and right click and just delete them if you want. Okay, I'd recommend getting a closer view if you're obviously saving glasses. And the next thing we need to do is, before we move on to the morph, we're going to save our character's eyes and the teeth as well, because the character creator teeth, when we apply them to this morph, you'll see there's a kind of a messed up situation that happens there. Okay, so just make sure your character base is selected. We'll go over here to base and make sure that we save the teeth. Okay, and we'll just call it Daz teeth. Okay. We'll go to the eye section and save it as we can probably zoom really close on the eye there, something like that. Okay, and just go ahead and save it as Daz eye. Daz eye. All right, and there we go. We're pretty much set. So what we need to do is create a morph slider for our character. So basically, this page morph, we can save this as a custom morph slider, and let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to create. And new morph slider up here, okay, and we'll just call it page morph, okay. And we need to set the category to body because we're going to morph the entire body, including the face and everything like that. You can set a slider path here. So if we go over here to our sliders, currently it'll be under actor/body, okay. We can set a subfolder if we want, but we'll just go ahead and maybe we'll set it. Folder called page there. Okay, morph values, you can keep those at minimum to maximum 0 to 100 there. Current morph, and we can go ahead and just select OK, and that's going to save that custom morph. Okay, and you can see it right here under morphs. There is page, and there is a page morph. Now we don't want to double apply it to our character right now. I'll talk about how to apply it to a default character in just a moment. So we've pretty much got everything saved that we need right now. We can save the character as well if we want, but I'm just going to go ahead and start a new project here. We're going to start from scratch. There we go. Now the first thing I want to do here is I like to go down to the actor tab or actor slider right here under morphs, and just go ahead and reset it so we have a fairly androgynous character right here. Okay, and then we can apply the morph that we want. Okay, so there's the page morph right here. So if we apply the page morph just like that, there you can see we have the page morph. Now focus on the teeth here. You'll notice that the teeth are kind of messed up, and that's what I was talking about before. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and go to the mouth here, or the teeth rather, and we'll apply those Daz teeth. And when we do so, there you go, fix the teeth issue. We can apply the same thing with the eyeballs as well. Eyeballs in the custom template folder there. Apply those eyes. Okay, so those are the nice olive green eyes there that we had previously. And we can throw on the clothes as well. So let's go over here to our cloth, and it doesn't really matter which way we apply it or which order we apply it in. Let's go to our shirts here and just apply the shirt to our character. There you go, and apply the full body dungarees on top, or overalls, whatever you want to call them there. All right, and then we can zoom out and see. There you go, nicely applied to our character, and we can throw on the shoes. The kicks, there we go. And finally, the hair and the glasses. So let's go over here to the base and hair, and the Daz subfolder there. We'll throw the hair on, and notice how they apply correctly to whatever area of the character that we save them to. All right, nice little convenient feature there. And finally, the glasses under accessories, under head, glasses too. All right, so there's everything we want, and there's our brand new character. Again, you can save your character. You can apply any pose you want. Over here to our Motion Plus template tab right here under female. And she can be pondering something there. All right, and I think we're good to go. All right, and then from that point on, you can emphasize the lighting of your character as well with particular sort of lighting scenarios and different poses as well. So I have a custom one saved, custom pose. Let's go into project here, or under or rather under the Motion Plus custom folder here, our custom tab. We have this pose. We can just go ahead and apply that to our character there. There you go. You can see she has that nice kind of anime style look right there. All right, nice cute pose. And we can throw in some Lightroom templates there as well. So let's go over here to our project tab, and I have a custom one saved for this girl here specifically. All right, and there you go, a nice custom lighting scenario. And one final thing I wanted to mention as well is if you don't like the large knitting on the shirt, you can also customize the knitting on the shirt as well to make it a little bit smaller and less noticeable to stitching. So you can go to your materials tab with the shirt selected, go to your materials tab, and you can go down here to UV tiling. Make sure that you lock the ratio here and just type in something like 5, for example, and you can see we get a much more detailed knit on our character right there. We can do the same thing with the arms, just like this, and go down to tiling, set it to 5, make sure the ratio is locked, and the arms trim and the neck trim, we can do that as well. So just like this, that's the arm trim there, and finally the neck trim, just like this right here. All right, throw that in. All right, so that's about all I wanted to show you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you learned a lot in this tutorial about importing in your Daz content and saving it to your Reallusion library. So make sure you check out our forums at forum.reallusion.com and all the other awesome CC3 tutorials on our YouTube channel. And I hope to see you in the next video.